Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Just waiting for folks to join in. Hi, Morgan. Good to see you. I think first time.
Hey, good to see you. I slept in last week and I've watched a few of the old recordings. I'm mostly here to
Nice.
see a fly on the wall and learn
Okay.
about everything happening.
Thanks for coming. Finish. It's good to see you here. Yeah, it's good. As usual, let's give folks a minute or two, and then you get going. A lot of updates today, so which is great. All right. When you cross study, we got going.
Hi, everyone.
Ishmael. Just to show my screen as well. All right, I think we can get going. So thanks everyone for coming. Another week in llm-d world. I'll ask Pete to get us going, kicking off with the community updates, and then we follow the same flow, open forum and SIG updates. So Pete, over to you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Welcome, everyone. Just a reminder, there is a code of conduct for the llm-d community. The link is in the community notes and stored in the repo. If you're not a member of the Slack, you can join Slack. Link is there. There are channels for every SIG group. We share the meeting recordings and transcripts after every call within there. And if you do need community help, there's a Slack group called @community_team that will reach one of us to help you out. I do always want to remind that we've got a few socials for llm-d, and we'll be posting, on Twitter/X, LinkedIn, different blog posts that are coming out, or events and meetups are happening. If you see those, give them a share. That obviously helps our reach. And if you do see anything interesting out there, people talking about it, drop them into the Slack as well, and we can post them out. Always happy to do that. And then upcoming llm-d events. There's a lot of events coming up, which are great. If you're in the Austin, Texas area, the PyTorch ATX meetup, there'll be some folks down there. You can register. That might be reaching capacity or very close, but register if you are going to be there. Meetup in Boston in September 18th. So that's next week, right? Next week, alongside the DevConf US, which there'll be some llm-d talks there as well. And then for bigger events, if you're out in SF, see us over at PyTorch, and also KubeCon Atlanta. We'll be down there as well. So that's it for upcoming events. If there are other meetups, if anyone is running a meetup in their own area and want us to help socialize it, please let us know, because we are more than happy to do that. I'll hand it back to you, Carlos.
All right, thanks, Pete. Great to see the word getting out there. So great presence, and all these talks we expect to engage a lot more of the broader community. So please help us to just kind of broadcast this, and also if you can join us over there. As usual, let's start with open forum. We typically kind of put some seating topics here. We start with the one listed, but again, feel free to think about like any feedback, complaint, as I keep saying, right? This is very much open forum, and so do not be afraid of chiming in. So let's go to the first one. I think this came from Greg, so I'll let you, Greg, expand.
Yeah, I think we've just been seeing some challenges with welcoming new contributors to the project and making sure like things move along. We've got people focused in like their little niches, and as a result, like lots of work is not getting merged. Some of these are from a process perspective. And so I was hoping we could look to something like Mergify to kind of reduce the barrier to entry for stuff to get merged and put more of the onus on like the review process, rather than like someone to actually say, okay, well, this is my responsibility. I'm going to approve and merge this right now. So just some food for thought.
Yeah. Is there anyone here in the community that, yeah, by the way, I think this is a result of a lot of like activity and interest, which of course we welcome and happy to see. But I think we all kind of share this perspective that I think it's not moving as like, especially for like newcomers, right? So is there anyone here that kind of having the issues with issues or PRs that stuck in the queue, please raise here just again to get a sense. And you can do that offline as well, right? Not to put anyone in the spot, but again, please let us know if there is something that is like a burning need that you guys feel like it's not being paid attention to, so we can make sure that we do that. In terms of process and tuning, I love the suggestion, at least from my side, Greg, something that we can consider Mergify and all the implications. I don't know if anybody else has other suggestions. Mergify seems to be becoming like something that a lot of these other projects use, so something for us to consider. Again, I don't know all the implications, so Greg, maybe this is something that you can bring to SIG installation, but it'd be good to get feedback from others here for suggestions, or if you guys are opposed to something like this. Okay, so maybe action here, we'll explore Mergify as part of the overall CI/CD SIG. Greg, let's start maybe like a thread there and collect ideas how we can implement this, and would be a good addition to the project just to help us process-wise move faster. Okay, anything else for open forum? Nir?
Yeah, I wanted to raise again the topic that we talked about a few meetings ago. So previous release, we had this notebook of how can we improve, and we talked about doing some functional tests and also some end-to-end tests for the whole llm-d altogether. So, for example, in the scheduler, Shmuel did amazing work and added end-to-end tests. So we now have functional tests for the scheduler and the sidecar, which looks great. I wanted to raise again the question about, so ideally I'd like to have a one-click test that I just run it and see if everything can work together, all the components. Just, to get like a sanity to see if we're good to go or something is missing. Do we know where does it stand? And also on the same topic, we talked about some performance tests that will run end to end, and we can see degradation in the performance. And to have it nightly, I know that there was some work that Nicole from Google did, but do we test like performance? Do we capture metrics? Do we capture anything, logs that we can compare between different releases, different versions?
Yeah. Nidhi, you first.
Yeah, this issue raised again also in a discussion with the auto-scaling team, Tamar and Abhishek. They also asked. So I know that we've raised it long ago, but
Yeah.
I think now that's starting, and it will come more and more once this, there will be more integration points and the usage, and it is increasing. So we need to understand it.
Yeah, so here's my take. So absolutely, this has been actually very critical. I think we're in a much better position now to tackle this. In fact, there are like two pieces that I think will help us here, right? So one, it's the whole kind of quick start and the examples, which are core examples, they all being kind of integrated into the benchmarking automation. So now we do actually have automation we can use to trickle like pipelines to at least test functionality across all like the 4 or 5 main features. So the plan is to use that as part of functional tests, right? So that's one. Two, for performance regression, right? You guys probably like last time we discussed about some of the benchmark automation that allows us to publish like results across a set of things that we can define, and a bunch of like use cases now all automated in a common format that will be even published and for public access, right? So that can be something that you can use to track performance regression. Now, all of this is again being automated, so it's just a matter of we agreeing on coverage and integration with the CI/CD and so on. And I know, Greg, you have some ideas here too, so I'll let you also expand on that color.
Not so much ideas. I was just going to respond to the direct piece of the question that I felt I could, which was the current status of things. And that is pretty easy because everything is broken. We're migrating the quick starts to the main repo, and this has caused everything to not be functional temporarily. That being said, what we did have prior to the migration was that you could open any PR off of infra, and any maintainer in that repo could then trigger an end-to-end test for any of the different quick start paths that we have. The YDP was not necessarily working because there's only so much of the YDP functionality you can test on NVIDIA and AWS L40s. So, you know, there's caveats, but for the most part, we had coverage and working tests for most of them. So we should continue to track this once we get the migration stuff handed over, and we don't have any performance or benchmark stuff in infra at least. I would love to hook in with benchmarking folks and get that set up with our workflows to do this and track regressions.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. So maybe the action here, like what you said last, the integration. I don't know if I know that benchmark folks are here, so we should make sure that we have that. So Marcio, maybe you want to comment.
Sorry, just to comment that we have the first of few sync ups with Greg to start to devise a plan to have this performance regression. So now we have enough automation for this.
Okay, so let's keep this is a critical piece and make sure that this is tracked somewhere. But again, the integrations, I think, is the concrete action now. Okay, SIG updates is like a long list. So if you don't have any other comment and issue for open forum, I'll move on. Anything else before I go? Okay, very good. So let's start SIG updates. Back to you, Greg.
So we've been, as I said, migrating all the quick starts to the main repo. Thank you for Clayton for spearheading this effort. Pete has also got some great work tracking these corresponding issues in the public site side of things. So that is continuing to progress, but if you notice anything, please either file an issue or make a small PR and we can follow on. Yeah, good clarification. We're switching to calling them guides. Thank you, Clayton. That's it on the migration side. We're tracking some corresponding feature changes from the GIE chart for the release candidate and for the infant scheduler. I think we have a real release of the infant scheduler, if I'm not incorrect, but I'm sure we'll hear later on about that. And we've got some PR open to track those changes for the quick starts, for the guides. Yeah, and then I guess finally, we've been talking a little bit about what it means to be supported on a guide for an infra provider and kind of put a proposal together for like how we see people coming in and contributing there. I'll jump over to you, Nir. Go ahead, and then I can finish up with this later.
Yeah, just a quick response. So the interest extension has a final release. The scheduler, not yet.
Awesome. Great clarification. Thank you. So let's continue to discuss on that PR, and maybe I'll throw open a Slack thread and we can follow up on that. Jumping back to this idea of infra providers and how we want to organize this, I wanted to pitch this idea to the community that we almost have like a spin out repo where we have our main wallet paths or guides here that we can keep clean and make them super unopinionated. And then we can add in customizations that would be entirely provider dependent. So if someone wants to come in and build an example that works for platform A, they can do that, and it's their responsibility to maintain it. And we can reference the set of examples as a whole, but they're not necessarily on our guide list, and so they're not necessarily our responsibility to maintain. So I thought this would be a nice way to open the community, but also make sure it's not our job to clean up after all of these individual implementations. Anyone have thoughts there?
Okay. I guess we continue offline on this one. Thanks, Greg. Let's move over to Tyler on PD disaggregation. If you have Tyler here, yeah, you do, right? Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, yeah, starting with the YDP stuff. So decode DBO still in review, pretty close to landing. You know, a lot of comments here. You know, somewhat invasive PR. But I do expect it to land pretty soon. So that's somewhat blocking some changes we need for pre-fill DBO. So pre-fill is next. I think we've got at least 2 PRs in the pipe behind this decode DBO PR, as well as some alternate schedules. Try to see what works best. So the one we have in place is not exactly what DeepSeek is using in their production system. So maybe some improvement there. Landed the TP attention plus EP-MOE fixes for DeepSeek v3. Need to apply that to other MOE models, namely the Quen models, Llama 4, and GPT-OSS. And we can also do a little bit better than what I did with this very simple fix. We've got a improvement for the CLU quant kernel, which is taking a few times longer, so we can get a maybe we'll call it a 50 microsecond pickup per layer of DeepSeek v3. So we've got first round of this kernel improvement is ready, and then working on it next. Some work is going on to reduce the EPLB overhead in terms of the runtime. And then we're starting to scope the next round of optimizations here. So namely, we are going to try to enable torch.compile fusion passes in the MOE layers to fuse some of these like smaller operations. This is somewhat blocked by the fact that torch.compile cannot touch our MOE layers in DLLM at all, since we wrap it in a custom op to work around some torch.compile issues. So that's in progress. And the other thing I want to call out is just for pure PD, there is a Quen 3 next MOE model coming out in the next couple of days. PR is up in VLLM, model weights haven't been released. This is a hybrid linear attention model, so Mamba layers. So basically the upshot of this is we'll be prioritizing automatic prefix caching to enable PD transfers for Mamba layers in support of this. I expect.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I think that's it for me. So
Okay, very good. Great. Any question, comments? Sounds good. Thanks, Tyler. Inference scheduler, Lily or Vita?
Yeah. So Inference Gateway final release of V1 is out finally. Following is the scheduler release, currently release candidate 1, which was based on release candidate of the Inference Gateway, was tested successfully end-to-end. Then Greg did some testing with the infra. There were minor issues, fixes were made. So basically, everything looks promising. We are waiting for final confirmation before the final release. In parallel, Maroon did some testing on the score, KV precise KVK score. There were great results. I think he will talk about that. We are in really good progress for the DP-aware scheduling implementation. Basically, there is some issue. Shmuel is working on that with Istio regarding to the inference pool now having multiple ports. So one issue was resolved. Now there is another. We are on it. We know that this is top priority. We hope it will be resolved soon. And we are working on V04 release the roadmap. So basically chat completion, DP will be there. Also a very important topic is the multi-model at scale, meaning having several models with several EPPs. We want to do scale testing, make sure that everything works well, because there is a requirement for this different clients. Also, the multi-LoRa support. There is an issue. We want ability to automatically identify the LoRa belongness to the inference pool. Now it's missing because the inference model, the CRD, was removed from the inference gateway. So this is another thing that we will address. And some repo consolidation. Basically, we want to take the sidecar and put it inside the scheduler repo. We also had some thoughts about the precise KVK scorer, but it's still under consideration because there is a lot of starting to be a hype around it and contributors. So we are not sure that we will consolidate. This is under discussion, but that's it on our end.
Okay, very good. Thanks. There is a question, Chen?
Yes, Neely, I have a question, particularly with the LoRa CR. You mentioned that it's removed, and with the upstream PR to VLM I'm working on, it's very likely removed for llm-d as well, because we support storage catalog instead of like in-memory catalog. So in this way, so how do you see the router can discover the different types of LoRa?
That is exactly the problem. We need the body-based routing to put the correct header according to the analysis of the payload, meaning we payload see the LoRa and we need to match it to the base model that is mapped to the inference pool, and we will have open this document with some options, and we'll share, of course, and then we'll make a decision. We need to resolve this, and there are several options, but we'll, of course, keep you in the loop. I know that you are...
Do you prefer VLM to give you a catalog API to list the available models for you?
That's one option. We can do it with v1/models and have some service, a controller that keeps track. This is one of the options.
Yeah.
So,
thanks, folks. So let's maybe we can take this one in the scheduler SIG. Thanks for raising it, Chen. Just mindful of the time. Sounds good. Anything else from you, Neely, or maybe I don't know if Abdullah, anything we missed here before we go?
We have the fairness making progress as well. It should land next week. Hopefully, again, it's been delayed a few times, but I think we're in a much better situation right now. We also have the SLO aware scorer making progress as well. We've got some good results.
That's
and
good.
Debating how we're going to integrate that as a plugin, as a scorer as well. Great.
Thank you both. Moving to KV disaggregation, Maroon.
Yeah, so the V0.3 release was cut after testing and benchmarking. We do see it was just one extensive benchmark run, but we do see some performance improvements. We'll study the causes, but it's most likely the change to synchronous tokenization, which may increase hits in some scenarios. V0.4 targets were set mostly on multimodal and multimodal support. The VLM native CPU offloading to land, which is still in final review phases. We're really hoping it should land for V0.4, but it's still, we're getting minor comments here and there, which should end soon, hopefully. And updated integrations with offloader once it lands and LM cache, which they're taking care of on their side. And that's
Okay.
it.
Thanks, Maroon. All right, so let's go to auto scaling. Abhishek and Tamar.
Abhishek, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So, as discussed last week, we moved our latest code to the main branch. So there is just one branch in the repo that has all the latest commits. This branch has been tested with manual test by integrating with the inference scheduler, and we see scale up and scale down happening for the requests that flow via gateway through the scheduler and to the autoscaler. And thanks to the inference scheduling team for helping with some of the hiccups. There were a few changes, like config changes that were needed to make it run on OpenShift. For that, we have draft PRs open. And then the last bullet shows the efficacy of the autoscaler. So these are basically on the left graph, you see two Kubernetes jobs that are started at different instances and that are sending traffic to the gateway. And we see that the traffic keeps on increasing. And as the traffic keeps on increasing, on the right-hand side, you see that the SLOs keep on violating. And on so every step inside this purple graph is where a replica is being scaled up for a violated SLO. And the red graph basically shows that the Kubernetes machinery is trying to spawn a pod and basically trying to bring the ITL back to the predicted ITL, which is the blue dotted graph that you see in the middle, all while trying to satisfy a very strict SLO of 9 milliseconds on H100 GPU. So those are kind of updates. Tamar, let me know if I missed anything.
Yeah, so just to make sure the end-to-end testing is complete, I think we made a lot of progress there, and the functionality is working. We're planning to spend the next week or so just to, code cleanup and better documentation. So we're gonna be sort of ready for a final release.
All right, it's great progress. Thank you both. We have only 3 minutes, so let's try to finish with benchmarking and observability. So benchmarking, Marcio, Ashok?
Yeah, so the main updates, we got V030 RC1. This includes the latest inference performance with some improvements for QPS, scheduling delays, and CPU utilization. And we have like 3 out of the 4 valid paths in llm-d infra now supported. This still doesn't run on CI/CD fully, but this is getting closer to where we can run these valid paths and have numbers published with this via CI/CD, something that we just discussed a little earlier. And the last one is a new capacity planner library is added with the front end. This basically allows you to sort of see what your memory requirements are for the model and the VLM deployment that you want to run. And there is a nice UI too, which makes it easier. Thanks to Jing for adding that. There is a doc there too, which you can take a look.
Great. Thanks, Ashok. Finally, observability, Sally, Roy?
Not too many updates. We did move the docs over to their new home, and so there's a permanent place for people to add dashboards and use the dashboard. I just posted some example PromQL queries because I've been testing those, and all of the VLM and most of the inference ones are working. So if anybody's got their system up and they want to play around with that, eventually that'll make its way into like some docs or dashboards. And then the service monitor PR, a lot of back and forth in the gateway API repo, but I think it's just about ready to merge. So I've been really waiting to get the service monitor in so that we can add some information about how to collect the EPP metrics and all. And so that will be very useful. And all of those things should be happening soon.
Great. All right, so right at time. Any other comment, request, anything else here? Very good. Another packed week, making very good progress towards the next release. A few things that, as you can see, falling in place. So we're all feeling good about it. It's coming, and I think that's it for today. I see you guys next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.